Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 40 of my Agrarian Skies Hardcore Quest Let's Play. This game pack by Jadedcat is available on the Feed the Beast launcher. So, a couple big announcements before we get started. First of all, I have uploaded my single-player world to a server and offloaded some of the processing. It's helped a bit with FPS, especially when I'm not recording. However, recording is still painful for my computer to handle. Which segues into the next big announcement. My partner Cat, seeing the success of the channel and the fact that thanks to you guys, I should be able to cover the cost of a computer upgrade from what I'm getting out of this hobby sometime in the next 6 months or so. She has gone ahead and fronted me the money to create that computer upgrade. Parts are arriving this afternoon, which means next week's episode should be recorded on a whole new desktop. I'm fantastically happy about that, and I've got you guys to thank for making this success possible. So, since last time, as promised, I built a better a better Ghast and better Wither Skeleton spawner. This is the Ghast spawner. I've replaced my squid pool with it because when I took a look at my ink supply, I had 17,155 ink sacks. I think I'm good for a bit. If I need more ink sacks than that to finish this map, I will be surprised. So, ghasts spawn out of the auto spawner in the middle. Well, squid spawn out of the auto spawner in the middle, into the witch water, which immediately turns them into ghasts, which get eaten up by that grinder. This room is big enough that the ghasts never spawn outside of the walls, despite the fact that they're gargantuan. Underneath, I have the tesseract set up to only work while redstone signal is high, and I have the ME level emitter set up to transmit when I have less than 640 gas tiers. So now I will always have 10 stacks of gas tiers available, and if I don't, this system will kick on and replenish them. Fantastic. Coming over here, I've expanded my little experience etc. farm to add wither skeletons to the top of it. And you can't really see what's going on through the dark glass, but wither skeletons spawn out of this auto spawner right here into this flowing witch water, which pushes them towards that corner. They eventually end up there no matter what happens. Sometimes a couple of them will linger around a bit, but it's not that big of a deal. They fall down into the same standard killing room that the blazes spawn in and get pushed into this autonomous activator holding the thaumic cleaver. I still need to put more upgrades on this cleaver, but I'm just not too worried about it, because if I turn this guy on, you'll see that the skulls and such come pretty fast and furious. You'll notice that I took out the hungry chest and the brain. It's because I'm going to use a vacuum hopper. And I'm going to set the vacuum hopper to output items to the bottom and to output experience to the left, because vacuum hoppers can gather experience. And then I'm going to gather up these 9 nether brick. You can see all of those wither skeletons just hanging out there. Oops, not dark glass. Hey guys, you can't quite see me, and I like it that way. And I'm going to use the open blocks tanks, which will quite happily store the liquid experience as it's gathered. And that will store an awful lot of experience. Then, anytime that I need more levels, I can just right-click on that, and it will transit the liquid experience that's in the tank into experience for me. Once that thing's filled up, I'll be able to aim at a corner, say, and get an awful lot of experience very fast. Now, the downfall of the cleaver in the autonomous activator is it doesn't swing very fast. However, it does generate an awful lot of heads, normally. I don't know where they're all going, though. Hold, please. Ah, of course, I set it to output into the interface already. So I've already gathered 3 wither skeleton skulls in the very short time that this has been running. And almost 3 full buckets worth of liquid experience. So this is fantastic. Now I've got a backup of wither skeleton skulls. I need to get this interface connected to my ME network, and if I remember correctly, the easiest way to do that is 1, take off my armor inhibitor so that my magnetism kicks in. 2, just dig up this line right here until I find my ME cable. And then I can run that right underneath. I did come in here and light the rest of the place up so that random hospital mobs would stop spawning. great thing about the magnet enhancement is I can break blocks at my maximum range and not actually lose them. I will gather everything. Alright, there we go. Just wanted to show myself finishing this particular system on camera so that you would know where all of my Wither Skeleton skulls are coming from before I started fighting the Wither multiple times. And there we have it. Everything's getting exported, everything's working beautifully. And now if I take a look at Wither Skeleton skulls, I have enough to summon 8 or so withers, which is probably more than I need. So I'm just going to shut this off for the moment. If I need more later, I'll come back and use it again. So, why do I need so many withers? Well, I need at least 4 Nether Stars to be able to upgrade this guy into the tier 5 altar. I saw some bits downstairs. I'm going to go grab them real quick. Now, one of the biggest problems with the Wither is he causes a lot of explosions. And there are not very many blocks that can withstand Wither explosions. I have a couple of options available to me. I can use some of this cobblestone if I want. The sextuple compressed and septuple compressed cobblestone. Also the octuple compressed. Problem is, I don't want to be using up my millions and millions of cobblestone just to fight the Wither, because I need to use that cobblestone to complete a quest, and I've been gathering it for an awfully long time. Sextuple is immune to the Wither's explosive projectiles. You need to get up to septuple to keep it safe from the Wither moving into it. So, cobblestone, not a great option. However, there is a great option from Thaumcraft. If I pull out my Thauminomicon, I can show it to you. In Thaumcraft, in the thaumaturgy area, if I learn the Wand Focus of Excavation, it opens up the Wand Focus of Warding. The Wand Focus of Warding will make a block completely immune to everything. It will not be able to be destroyed by the Wither in any way. Unfortunately, it requires a Nether Star to make, so I'm going to have to fight at least one Wither the normal way. And I'm going to go do that. So I'm going to grab myself 3 Wither Skeleton Skulls. And I'm going to get myself some soul sand, if I can spell, which it requires 4 soul sand to summon the Wither. And I'm going to rely on my flight potion and my bound armor and my bound blade to make this fight possible for me, because I have really good equipment that I've spent a lot of time and a lot of effort creating. I might as well use it. Just going to sleep through the night real quick. The fact that I have the magnetism on the armor, well, that was in planning for this particular moment, because when I kill the Wither, he's going to drop his items. I want to gather those items. I want them to pop right into my inventory. I'm also going to need an angel block, which I have plenty of. So I'm going to fly, a ways this way. Let's just go until I can no longer even see my base at all. That way, there's very little chance of the Wither flying back this way and trying to kill my base. Here we go. I'm going to set down that angel block. I'm going to set down my soul sand in the proper configuration. And I'm going to summon the Wither by placing 3 Wither Skeleton Skulls. Before I do that, I'm going to see that my flight potion is at less than 5 minutes, so I'm going to take another swig. And here we are. Now, he should come straight for me once he's done spawning. And I will take a little bit of damage in this fight because the Wither effect will bypass my bound armor. I don't have any enhancements on it that will stop that from happening. But his actual projectiles can't hurt me. And I'm hitting for quite a lot of damage per swing. So all I need to do is chase him down and kill him. And now he's in the chase me mode instead of the runaway mode. And that's 1 Wither down. I gain a Nether Star and a Division Sigil. Now I can use that Nether Star to make the Wand Focus of Warding and never have to worry about coming way out in the middle of nowhere again. Just going to warp home, which I still haven't changed from over top of my once squid pool. And I'm going to eat some food. I also gained a miniature yellow heart because you get a free yellow heart for killing the Wither. However, considering you can craft yellow hearts out of red hearts and glowstone, and red hearts are so fantastically easy to get your hands on, that's probably not necessary. One more second. And there we are. You can see I got brought somewhat low, and if I take a look at my essence network with my divination sigil, all of the running around and everything that I've been doing and fighting the Wither took a total of almost 300,000 LP. No problem. Just going to turn on my villager spawner and let that fill back up. So there's the Wither, demystified. He's really not that tough. Now, I'm going to get the resources together that I need to craft the Wand Focus of Warding. As you can see, I need 25 Tutamin, 25 Terra, 25 Ordo, 10 Cognitio, 2 Earth Shards, 2 Order Shards, 2 Nether Quartz, and 2 Quicksilver. Once I have all of this together, I'll be back to show you, well, what I'm using to get the Tutamin specifically, and in general, the whole infusion recipe. See you soon. So I came into my alchemy lab, well, my thaumaturgy lab, and I realized I need to make some upgrades. This place has not been automated at all, and I'm sick of doing things by hand. So, to start off, I'm going to move my Saxum into a void jar. And that can be done by placing a couple of Essentia tubes between them, labeling the void jar. But to label the void jar, I need to get myself an empty glass file, soak up some of that Saxum, and I can combine the jar label and the file in the inventory to label the jar. And now you can see that the labeled jar has a higher suction value than the unlabeled jar, so it is pulling the Saxum through the tubes and into it. Which is fantastic, because I need to get a whole bunch of Victus. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating myself a little golem helper to be able to do all of this stuff a little bit more automatically and a little bit less manually. I've made myself a tallow golem. Tallow golems are made from 9 magic tallow, which is just a piece of rotten flesh with 2 Praecantatio and a crucible. You take that 9 tallow and you put it into a tallow block, and you dump the tallow block into the crucible with 8 Humanus, 8 Modus, and 8 Spiritus. Spiritus, I believe I got from Soul Sand. Humanus and Modus were available from a reward quest, but also Humanus and Modus are available. Modus from Trapdoors, I believe, is my favorite source. Humanus from Rotten Flesh. Now, to get the Victus, I'm going to be using what a lot of people might even consider a cheat. Mind Factory Reloaded adds the small white stone bricks. They contain Terra, Saxum, Ignis, and Victus. Now, I'm going to want me both the Ignis and the Victus. The Terra and the Saxum I don't care about. However, I have void jars for Terra and Saxum. So I'm going to grab up the Terra, I'm going to grab up the Saxum, and I'm going to grab up some labels, because you remember how this dance works, don't you? If you don't, here's a nice little review. I toss my whitestone bricks into the alchemical furnace, let it burn up with my elementum, and now I've got some Terra in there. I label it so nothing else will go in, and I set down my Terra void jar underneath. I have Victus in here, again, label it, put a water jar underneath, and etc. So I'll be back once these are done processing to show you what I'm going to be doing with that Victus. There we are, 64 Victus in a jar. Now, what am I doing with it? Well, I'm going to upgrade my golem. Once you research all of the golem upgrades, you can make an advanced golem, which requires redstone, glowstone, gunpowder, a zombie brain, and a warded jar, plus 1 golem in the middle. And, as it says, you are sure the malevolent intent in their eyes is just your imagination. You're infusing a zombie brain in a jar into a golem. What could possibly go wrong? Now, the purpose of this is it increases all of the capabilities of the golem and gives it a ability to hold more upgrades. To get the golem into the arcane pedestal, you can't just right-click or it'll set him down and you have to pick him up with your Golemancer's bell. I'll go over more of the uses of that later. You have to hold shift and right click to get him in there. And then, as usual, you grab your wand and you give this a whack. And it sucks up Cognitio, Sensus, and Victus. And what I still think is the coolest animation ever. And as is the norm, I have a bunch of extra materials and hoppers to be able to mitigate any effects of instability. Plus a whole bunch of extra essence around this time so I don't run into the problem I had last time. And there we go. I now have an advanced Tallow Golem. So, what am I going to do with this advanced Tallow Golem? Well, I'm going to set him down. Actually, not right there. I am going to set him down on the side of my alchemical furnace. And I'm going to give him the Golem Animation Core Alchemy. To get the Alchemy Core, you have to research to the left of the Gather Core, into the Fill Core, into the Decanting Core, into the Alchemy Core. And it is made from a decanting core in an infusion table with Praecantatio, Modus, Aqua, a couple of water bottles, and a warded jar. You make the decanting core with a blank core, Aqua, and Vacuous, and a crucible. And the blank core is made in a crafting table with brick, and a workbench with brick, nitor, and a little bit of Ordo and Ignis V. So, complicated item. I got it all together off screen so that you wouldn't need to worry about it. Now, what does this guy do for me? Well, he's going to manage my alchemical furnace for me. I no longer need to do that by hand, which was the whole idea. If I give him a warded jar... Actually, I don't even need to do that. He does it all on his own. So, all I need to do is start cooking something up in the furnace, and he will happily take care of that for me, pull it out, and take it to any of these jars. The problem is, I have to tell him where the jars that he's looking for are. That was odd. Hang on a moment. There we go. Brief server desync. Should probably go shut off my villager spawner. I'm sure it's not making things happy. Alrighty, folks. So, for future reference, leaving the blaze spawning unattended, not necessarily the best plan. They will occasionally spawn with infernal mobs modifiers, one of which is the ender modifier. In the current version of infernal mobs, if you get an ender modified something, 1, it can teleport right outside, which I had 3 of them that were flying around. 2, it just seems to cause a lot of lag for no good reason. So I was getting a bit of server lag, and that was why I couldn't grab my jars. However, I have them now. So I'm going to set my Saxum jar down, and we'll put it right there, why not? And the Victus jar, and I'm going to label the Victus jar. So labels will stop the golem from attempting to put untyped, well, it will make sure that it only ever puts the type of essentia that is on the label into that jar. Now, to tell the golem where it needs to go. Uh-oh. I think I just did something bad. If you shift right click on an alembic, you dump all of its contents out. Not a big deal. To tell the golem where it needs to go, you can right click on the golem, and then you can see that it is currently bound at home to this furnace, and then I can bind it to that jar. And it will know that this jar and any jar connected to it that it can reach are jars that it should fill, which is fantastic. So, let's see, what do we got going on? For the wand focus, I need Tutamen, Terra, Ordo, and Cognitio. Well, I have plenty of Terra. I have plenty of Ordo because I got it in one of the reward chests. If you need Terra and Ordo, Sandstone, if I remember correctly, is the way to go. Not that I have any on hand. Hang on. Allow me to demonstrate what I mean. So I can take my sand and I can craft it into sandstone. And then I can craft 3 of that sandstone into slabs, which become chiseled sandstone. which are not the one that I was looking for. Chiseled sandstone, I believe, is the one with Praecantatio. It's going to be like that. Wow. I hope you guys are entertained. There. That was a little dumb. Alright, so Chiseled Sandstone has Praecantatio, which is not quite what you're looking for. What you want instead is to grab one more. And you want that. And like this. And that gets you Smooth Sandstone, which has Terra and Ordo on it, at the low cost of some sandstone. So, I mean, it's basically free, folks. Why not? However, at the moment, I'm good on all of those particular aspects, so I'm just going to dump it over the side. Now, for the Cognitio, one of the easiest things to do if you have a good mob farm running is just brains. They give a ton of Cognitio, which is why I have so much of it stocked up over here. For the final bit, the Tutamin, I like leather. It gives one Tutamin, one Bestia, and 2 Panis apiece. So why not? So I'm actually going to get a couple more Void Jars and a Warded Jar down. And I'm going to set those away from where that golem can see them at the moment. I'm going to load my leather into my furnace. And he's going to start gathering up some of it. Once I have Panis, I'm going to load that into one of the Void Jars. And I'm going to label that Void Jar. And then I'm going to add it to the list of jars that he is allowed to manage. There we go, Tutamin's on top. That must be the one that he's grabbing up already. Tutamin is going to go into a regular jar, and it is going to get labeled. And again, added to the list of jars that he is allowed to manage. Before I do that, though, I'm going to break more than I intend. Look at him go. He will happily climb up 1 block spaces. So if you leave your jars somewhat tiered, it'll be fine. This golem can carry can carry 8 Essentia at a time. As you can see, Panis goes from 32 to 40. That can be increased, and in fact I'm going to do so briefly to speed this whole process along. So, why did I want an advanced golem specifically? Well, I wanted to be able to toss upgrades into him. And the upgrades that I'm interested in are the air upgrade, which will greatly increase its movement speed, and the earth upgrade, which will make it stronger, so it can double the amount that it carry. So I need gold nuggets and shards, earth and air. These upgrades are getting dangerously close to the sort of things that you cannot craft with the default wand, but they're still within the realm of possibility. Once I do start creating things that you can't make with the default wand, I will show you how to make a better wand, as if you did not have the really cool upgrade that I got. Oh, do I have any shards? I've got some Ordo shards, but they're not the ones I need. Need earth and air. Being on the server has definitely helped significantly with the FPS. There, 1 improved strength, 1 improved speed. And if I come over, I can just wait until I can right-click him, and they just get installed right in his chest. So now he will move faster and he will carry more. He should come back and grab all 16 of that Panis in one go. Yep, there it goes. And I have my full stack of Tutamin now. I'm going to set up the infusion recipe for the Wand Focus of Warding. Be right back. there we have it. Everything is all set up. I've got plenty of extra materials in the hoppers. I have a whole bunch of all of the aspects that I could possibly need. Grab my wand and infuse me. Let's see all that lightning flash into the crystals. Glad I have them there. This is just the coolest thing. I will never get tired of showing this on camera. However, I will fast forward to the end. Back as soon as this is done. There we are. One wand focus warding. Now to change out wand foci, all you need to do is hold your wand, hit F, and this really cool little pop-up comes up. So, there we go. Now I have the wand focus of warding. It will cost, well, as you can see, just a little tiny little bit of V per cast. 0.1 aqua, 0.25 ordo, 0.25 terra. Now I'm going to build myself a little bit of a room to fight the wither in. And I'm just going to stuff it, no, this is going to be my ritual area. I guess I'm going to build it over here as an adjunct to this little area. Oops. Right now I'm just letting the wither skeletons run and collecting more skulls, and perhaps more importantly, collecting more experience, because I have plans for that experience. I've kind of moved past the need for more wither skeleton skulls at this point, I believe. I can summon, 23 withers, about to be 24. Yeah. So, let me get the room constructed. I'll be right back. Alright, right around the corner here, I've built myself a nice little wither death room. And I'm going to show off how the wand focus of warding works. Simply point at any block and right-click to ward that block. And this makes the block completely indestructible in any means whatsoever. Even I can't break it, even with my really cool pickaxe here. If I try, it just gets this really neat arcane shielding effect on it. You can't ward everything. You can only ward blocks. Tile entities, basically anything with a mechanical effect, cannot be warded. I can't ward these glowstone illuminators. They are likely going to get broken repeatedly if I fight the wither very much. It's just how it goes. There's no way around it. If I want to keep this place lit up when I'm not here, well, I need to have destructible light sources. Because there is no light source that I can create that is indestructible. Well, you know what? Maybe glowstone proper. Let's take a look. The illuminators can't because they have... Let's see, if I put you down... Yes, glowstone proper can be warded. So, that changes one plan. Get rid of these illuminators. Grab regular glowstone. This is a iterative process, folks. Sometimes I think of things while I'm in the middle of explaining. I'm not a giant fan of the appearance of regular glowstone, and also it's just not as effective at lighting things up as the illuminators, it seems, because that block was definitely fine before. Now, walking in, I have a bit of a baffle. Just in case there are stray wither shots, nothing important can get broken, because they're just going to enter into this foyer here and blow up on nothing. And I have actually extended it into a bit of a double foyer, just in case. So I'm going to get everything warded. And then I'm going to summon a wither, and I'm going to kill it. And as you can see from the meter in the top left of my screen, that's a little odd. Warding it is making it not give off light properly. Interesting. Oh well. Having another one there won't hurt anything. As you can see from the meter in the top left of my screen, this is using a fair bit of V, but I've got all of those nodes that I can get to easily downstairs, and by flying around. In the future, I will create a better node charging, wand charging area, but that future is not now. Almost. This is a lot of blocks to ward. This is only one of the really cool things you can do with Thaumcraft wand foci, though it is one of the coolest. Besides, who doesn't just love that particle effect and the effect you get when you beat on the wall that's been warded? So, everything in here is now completely invulnerable, and any angle the Wither could possibly have to fire out of the room just leads into more invulnerable blocks. It will not be able to fit through this too-high door. I am completely safe to summon a Wither in here. All I need to do is make sure that it won't kill me, which I think I've got covered. Let me show you what fighting a Wither in close quarters like this is like. You do need to give the Wither a couple of blocks of space above it, or it will accidentally spawn outside, and that can be a bit of a problem. There is no escaping me. And there we go. There's another Nether Star and another Division Sigil and another miniature yellow heart. Which is fantastic because that miniature yellow heart will basically restore all of the hit points that I lose fighting the Wither once that Wither effect wears off. You know what? I have some milk. I know I do. Because that's obnoxious. There we go. Bang. So there you have it, folks. I have a very easy Wither summoning and destruction station. What? Oh. Well, that was almost bad. As I was saying, it seems that the radius on the explosion was enough to go through some of the walls. I'm going to have to double check everything and make sure nothing got broke. A couple of things on the edges here. Let's get a look inside. Yep, that's a bit of an issue. Alright, so definitely needs a little bit more fine-tuning, and probably that just means another layer worth of blocks in between. Easy enough. Alright, that's going to be all the time that I have for this episode. However, in celebration of new computer and the series being moved onto a server and 2,000 subscribers about 4 days after I hit 1,000 subscribers. Seriously, thank you guys. You're crazy. I'm going to be putting out a second episode. It should be out later today. So look for me in about 6 hours to get your episode 41, in which I'm going to be finishing off all of the magic-related quests, as I believe there are 2 more. And I'm going to be upgrading the blood magic altar to tier 5. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. If so, please like, comment, and get me out there on social media. This subscriber train is getting crazy and I want to keep it rolling. See you next time.